Psychetruth. Life, wisdom.
Hi, it's Catherine Elizabeth. Welcome to day 6 of my 10-day flexibility challenge. Today we're going to be taking a lot of the exercises we've been doing on the floor to a standing position. So we're going to be working that flexibility and that strength, but we're also be adding an extra element of balance to the mix. Today we're just going to begin by rolling out our wrists, since we are going to be supporting our body weight on our hands a lot of the time. And I just wanted to mention that since we are past the halfway point of this program, it's a good time to check in with your own body and just see where your trouble spots are. Are you more flexible in your upper back, or are you more flexible in your hamstrings? What do you need to work on more? This is good for you to know. It's good for me to know. Please do leave me a comment about it. I am very curious. And another thing is, if you find that these exercises are getting too challenging too quickly, please, you're always welcome to go back to earlier videos until those moves are really comfortable and you feel confident that you can face the next challenges in a healthy and safe way. All right, so let's get started with day 6. So go ahead and lay down on your back. Knees are bent easily. We're going to actually start with a wider leg position this time. So instead of being parallel with the thighs, open to about a 45-degree angle with your toes tracking in the same angle. We're going to bring our heels a little bit in, and we're just going to slowly roll up, starting with our tailbone. On an exhale, we lift, contract the glutes, and feel a nice stretch through the top of the hips until you're at your full bridge here. Always thinking one long line from the knees to the shoulders when you're in that full bridge. And again, rolling up one vertebra at a time. Check in to see if one of your hips is going higher than the other, and try to even it out as you go along. Exhale. Wake up those ab muscles. Let them support your spine as you roll through both ways. And this time we'll hold it at the height of our bridge. And you're just going to alternate hips, so you're going to let your right hip sink down first, pressing up even harder with the left, and then we switch, pressing up through the right. And just alternate slowly like that. And maybe you'll notice one is a little bit easier to drop than the other. That's okay. Most of us have some kind of asymmetry in our muscles. We're more flexible on one side than the other. But our goal is to aim for as much symmetry as we can structurally manage. And go ahead and bring it back to center. Check in, bring it to the full height of your bridge with shoulders on the ground. Just look past your navel. And one more time, even higher. And go ahead and slowly roll down. Go ahead and tuck your knees into your chest. Aim to put your shoulders on the mat as you pull in your legs to your chest. So the chest should remain open, and if you want, you can put your hands on your knees. This can make it easier to bring the elbows and shoulders to the mat. The idea here is to lengthen the lower spine, and if you can, get the lower spine also making contact with the mat. Now we're going to go to our bridges with feet together and knees together. Hands are just at our side, nice and easy, palms down. On an exhale, same idea, rolling up one vertebra at a time, squeezing the thighs together Most people notice that their thighs really want to open up in this position because it's really challenging for the inner thighs to keep it nice and tight in the legs. And roll down. You might find also that you don't go quite as high in the hips as you do with the open leg position. That's okay. Just strive to stretch through the hips by pushing through the heels. And keep those knees squeezed together. Roll back down. Good. One more time. Roll up. Squeeze those legs together. Contract your abdomen. And slowly roll it down. Go ahead and tuck your knees into your chest, placing the shoulders and the small of your back on the mat, nice and flat. Now let's go ahead and scoot a little closer to the front of our mat to make room for plow. So we rock back onto our shoulders. Walk the shoulders in until you have a nice firm base. Clasp the hands behind you, pressing against the mat. Engage the abs. And just stack your hips over your shoulders. And from here, we're going to go to shoulder stand. Let's go ahead and bring the knees towards the forehead first. Use those muscles you just activated in your bridges, those glutes, to squeeze your hips forward. And we stretch our legs up towards the ceiling. If you find that your shoulder stand looks something like this, where you can't quite straighten out, I always think of squeezing my thighs in towards each other and aiming my heels towards the wall on my back side. Just continue to breathe. Picture your energy spiraling upward continuously, always aiming to get taller. And slowly roll down with control. Good job. Taking it to our backwards plank, we scoot up, stacking our elbows under our shoulders, extending our heels out in front of us. Slight bend in the knees so we have room to push through our elbows. Point our feet, squeeze our heels together, and have a nice long line from toe to the top of the head. Again, your head and neck, your neck is just an extension of your upper spine. So just continue that line in your back, through the top of your head. Maybe imagine a string pulling the top of your head away from your shoulders. And go ahead and lower down. Just rest here for a moment. We'll do that one more time. On the second round, aim to get your hips just a little higher and just think longer through the feet, through the neck, and through the spine. So on the exhale, go ahead and lift up. Exhale, up. Palms are flat against the mat. Try to get your thumbs and index fingers on the mat as well. Try not to roll out to the side of your hands. And we stretch through the shoulders. And roll down. Good. Now you're going to turn to your right side for plank. So you can put either your elbow on the floor or your hand. Either way, you want to line up your support underneath your shoulder. I'm going to go onto my hand today, so I'm going to push up Again, stacking my shoulder right over my hand, softening the elbow slightly, and really pulling my right hip away from the floor. I'm just going to follow my left hand up. Allow my gaze to look just beyond my fingertips. And slowly lower back down to the other side. And we put our support under our shoulder, whether that's our hand or our elbow. Stack our feet. You can place your hands on your hips if you like, or follow your gaze upward towards that hand as you drive your left hip towards the sky. And just hold a few more seconds. You got it, and release. Warming up our triceps now, preparing for that back bend. Go into your tricep dips. Elbows are facing directly behind you, parallel to each other. Slightly behind, hands are slightly behind your shoulders. You're gonna dig your weight into your heels. Push over onto your hands. And keeping the pelvis still, we're going to lower using our triceps. Trying not to thrust with the hips. Keeping the shoulders back, trying to keep the chest open, and trying to avoid any collapsing in the upper back. For 3, 2, 1, and relax. Nice job. Now we're going to take that strength we just activated in our arms to our back bend. Now we lie on our backs, placing our legs slightly wider than hip width distance apart. Position your hands so that the fingertips are facing your shoulders with the palms facing down. It could be right behind your shoulders or slightly wider. Try to keep the elbows in, don't let them flare out too much. Dig in your heels, walk them towards your hips until you have a nice firm base of support. Now simultaneously through your hands and your heels, we inhale, exhale, and push up. Hold it as long as you can here, and then slowly roll down through the spine just as you did with the glute bridges. We're going to go up one more time, and if you want an extra challenge this time around, you can go up on your toes in that high position. So first we dig through our heels. Get ready. Inhale first. Exhale up. And if you want, go ahead and go onto your high half toe. Otherwise, just stay nice and flat, pushing through your heels. And if you're on your toe, lower your heels and return safely to your mat. And now we can push up to a seated position for our forward fold. So go ahead and extend both feet ahead of you. Sit up nice and tall, and on an exhale, aim the chest towards the shins, pulling your forehead towards your legs with your arms. Point your toes hard if you can, getting a nice stretch through the top of the ankle. And always trying to flatten your leg against the mat. Your spine is pressed flat against your thighs as you continue to breathe. And now we can take a lunge, starting with our left leg forward. Stack the knee over the heel and extend your right leg straight behind you. Now again, you're going to be pressing through your right heel towards the back wall as you press your right hip forward to get the maximum stretch in your back leg. If you want, you can go to elbows here if a regular lunge isn't enough of a challenge. Now come back up to hands, drop the right leg back, reach around the left arm, and pull that right foot towards your body, but also counter it by pushing the right foot out. So really feel a stretch in the front of your right quadriceps muscle. And go ahead and switch sides. Stack the right knee over the right heel. Left leg straight behind you. Left heel points back, left hip points forward. And you can drop it to elbows. If you go to elbows, try to make sure your knee stays tracked over your foot as much as possible. Don't let it flare out. And from here, we're just going to take it to a standing position. Today we're going to be doing a more advanced balance on one leg. This is airplane pose. We start with 2 feet together, side by side. You're going to bring your index fingers up over your head with your arms just behind your ears, bringing the shoulders down. We're going to reach up, and in one motion, you're going to lift your left foot back as your upper body leans forward. The standing leg remains straight, not locking the knee, softening it slightly, and your gaze is going to look just beyond the edge of your mat. The idea is to have one long line from your fingertips through your toe and come back up. You're going to do it on the other side. So extend your right toe behind you, stretch up through your spine, gaze looks just beyond the mat, and we come to a horizontal line. And bring it back up to the center. Go ahead and relax your hands, and we'll do it one more time on each side. So again, we stand up tall, reach our hands above our head with index fingers pointed, palms together. Arms are right behind the ears, shoulders are down. Extend the left foot behind you, toes pointed, heel facing the sky, and in one motion, bring your gaze just beyond the mat and tilt on that standing leg until you've reached a nice 180-degree line. And bring it back up with control. Go ahead and rest your arms here for a moment before going to the right side. So, nice deep breath. Raise your hands up above your head. Index fingers pointed. Stretch up. Right foot goes behind. Toes pointed. Lift up. Gaze beyond your mat and tilt forward. To conclude today's workout, I want to leave you with an exercise that you can do anywhere, anytime. All you need is a wall. You stand with your back to the wall, a couple feet away. Legs are hip width distance apart. Bend the knees slightly. You're just going to put your hands up over your heads, palm facing up. And we're just going to reach back to our wall, our gaze looking towards that wall until we make contact. And for now, this might be enough of a challenge to just push off and return to your starting position. If you want it to take it a little deeper, you can do the same thing. Reach back and look back until you find your wall. And then walk your hands down, increasing your back bend range. And then, just like you came down, walk back up, bring your hands next to each other, and push back to center. Every time you do this, you should be able to get a few inches lower to the ground until finally you can walk all the way there. Congratulations, you've made it through day 6. Until next time, rest up and I'll see you on day 7. Oh, and be sure to subscribe to this channel so you can come back to this video anytime and so you can join me on day 7 of this challenge. Also, special thanks to Move and Easy Dancewear and Morella for giving me this awesome leotard to wear today. Thank you so much. I will see you guys next time.